Well, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table, Miss Christine.
Thank you for having me.
I want to dig into what got you started becoming an actress.
Well, I think it was something that I always wanted to do. I remember entertaining the neighbors when I was a little girl, singing and dancing, and studying in school and wanting to put on plays in grade school. And one thing led to another. It just was
Wow,
always there, I think. Yeah.
amazing. I want to go into some of your acting role. You were on FBI Most Wanted in 2022, and how was it being on set and and all that stuff?
Yeah, it was my first network co-star, so I was pretty nervous. I'd only done background up until that point, so it was my first union job, first union paycheck, which was very nice. And everybody was really nice, and the director was very kind, and I messed up a couple times, of course, because I was so nervous, even though I only had about 8 lines. Only. Actually, 8 lines is a lot for a co-star. Um, but when I was done, she said, you did great. You should feel very proud. And I thought, well, that was really nice. She didn't have to say that. So it was a really good experience. I remember this is kind of funny because I'd only been doing background prior to that. When it was time for breakfast or maybe it was lunch, I assumed I was just going to go get in the line, and no, the PAs brought it to me, which was really, I was like, oh, okay, this is the big time.
Wow, amazing. I love the FBI Most Wanted. It's a good TV series.
Yeah, I think mine was an interesting episode because my character was kind of comic relief, which you
hmm
don't really see in that show very much, I don't think. And she was also there to build tension because as she's rattling on, as I do, there's a guy with a gun behind the door, of the woman
hmm
she's talking to. So yeah, it was I wasn't sure how big to play it. I just played it truthful. I just channeled my grandma and just kind of added
Right.
on.
Well, that's the one thing I was going to say. Your role was kind of unique, wasn't it?
I feel like it was. I feel like you don't see like a comic relief that also adds tension very often.
hmm
It's a pretty serious show.
And if you mind me asking, why do you think your role was unique?
Why do I think? Well, I think the reasons that I just said I don't see a lot of, comic relief on that show.
hmm
And she basically had almost a monologue. It was nice. It looks really good on the reel. It's not just a cutaway to your elbow and that's it. But I think it was important for the dramatic irony of the audience knowing there was a gunman behind the door. And then it created a conflict in the woman who answered the door and had to sort of be nice to me, but not give anything away, but also get rid of me. So yeah, it was some good writing, I think.
No, I think it was amazing, and
Oh, thanks.
to like I said, it was unique. I agree
Yeah,
with
I
you.
think it was too.
I think a lot of audience must have been thinking that's a unique scene because
Yeah,
I remember watching it, and
yeah,
you did great. I watch it. This is my one of
oh,
my favorite shows, still running. Um, and it was, it's kind of like, oh, okay, get you on the edge of the seat. Oh no, you better watch out. And then it's like
yeah,
this scene is like, wait a minute, this is kind of unique. It's like,
yeah,
what's going on here? So
yeah,
I totally get what you're saying.
yeah, yeah.
100%. And of course, you were on the t 2020, you were on the TV series The Flight Attendant.
Oh, that was just background. I shouldn't say just. You learn so much doing background.
No, I understand
Yeah, that was my
background, but it still
first
means something, right?
first
And that TV
background
show
show. Yeah.
is amazing. I want to go into most recent.
Hmm.
I may be saying it wrong, but the Alto Night.
Oh yeah, the Alto Nights. Yeah.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
What
What
would you
is
like
that
to know?
about?
Yeah. Well, it's a Robert De Niro film, and he plays two gangsters
hmm
who grew up together and then sort of turned against each other, fighting over control of the family. And I played Trish Hawley, who was a wealthy socialite married to a lawyer. And we appear, and my husband and I, my on-screen husband and I, appear early in the film to sort of create the world of Frank Costello as he tries to sort of distance himself from the mob and become this guy known for charity functions and philanthropy. And I have the first joke in the movie when I say to the reporters that, it was a lovely affair and I've never met so many judges in all my life. 'Cause of course he's sort of, giving kickbacks to judges for things. So yeah, it's an old-fashioned mobster movie with a lot of old New York in it, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I got to spend the day with Robert De Niro and Deborah Messing, so it was a lot of fun.
Uh, I totally agree because I was watching the trailer and it is like an old like I don't know how to describe like old tradition like a
Yeah,
mo
old
monster
school.
movie, right? And
Hmm.
mobster movie, not monster, mobster movie. And
Well, they're kind of monsters, but yeah.
yeah, and it's amazing. I love
It's a
everything
good movie.
about it.
You should watch it. I could use the residuals.
Yes. Um, so what can this is the next question. I'm sorry. What is your advice for a lot of young upcoming actors and actresses out there?
Train. Be in class. I'm still in class, I think that's really important to be, it's like a gym workout. You just have to keep doing it so that when the opportunities come, you're ready. You're not scrambling.
Hmm.
That's what I would say. And, you know, I'm not the only one to say this, but if there's something else you can do, do it. Because it's really a hard life. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a calling almost. I mean, it is a calling.
And what is your advice and your opinion? Because I know things are changing. It's changed since 2020. Because I remember a lot of actors would say, and maybe you can say as well, that you used to, some would still do this, some don't, but you used to go in person
Mhm.
for audition to show your impression, sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
And now you have a lot of Zoom, you have a lot of sending tapes in, more Zoom to do audition.
yeah,
So a lot of actors who I've talked to, some say they like it on Zoom because if you're living, for example, Texas or New York or Seattle or Hawaii or so on, you don't have to worry about spending money to go to California or wherever to do audition and then fly back. They can do on Zoom. Some say they like it doing in person because you can do your impression right there. For your story and your
yeah.
opinion, what do you think about doing
Well,
Zoom or being in person?
I think there's pros and cons to both.
Hmm.
And there are more and more Zoom auditions and callbacks. But self-tape is here and it's here to stay. Um, I think you run into trouble when you don't live in one of the major markets and then you book
Hmm.
and you have to get yourself there on your own dime, and production dates change and your fitting date is going to change. So if you don't have the money in your bank to book a last minute flight or points or whatever, you're going to spend your paycheck a few times just getting to set. And if you can't get there on time, if your flight's delayed, you have burned bridges with producers, directors, casting directors. So it's really, even though you can submit from anywhere, if they're not flying you in and housing you, it's really quite expensive.
Hmm.
So you have to understand that. One of the benefits of self-taping is that you get to do a few takes and send in the best one. But then, the favorite benefit, I think, of both casting directors and actors is being in the room and feeling the energy of the people and getting a redirect. When you send your tape off into the void, someone's watching it, but there's rarely any feedback. I mean, you can send it to your reps first and ask them for some feedback, but very rarely do you get any casting director feedback. They just don't have the time. They have to go through all the
Hmm.
tapes. And the other thing about tapes is that it's so much more competitive today because they're looking at so many
Hmm.
tapes from all over the country. Before, they'd call 40, 50 people in, maybe, and that was it. So it's a much wider net now. It's a lot more
Hmm.
competitive.
And do you think the entertainment industry is changing? Reason
Mhm.
I'm asking is that is because, like you said, money, traveling.
Yeah.
Do you believe that it's hurting the next coming generation of the entertainment industry? Because my the, it's because my mind went blank there. So because like you said, you're spending your own money to travel, get your own hotel. But if you can't get there, the weather. So do you believe that the entertainment industry directors and producers should um I don't want to put you on a spot, but I'm putting everybody. Do you believe they should help out, or do you think they should just change and go only do Zoom to help
Well,
people?
it's not in their budgets. I mean, if you're really serious about this career, I think you still have to live near a major market. You
Mm-hmm.
know, production is not going to fly somebody from, Iowa to the East Coast when they can find somebody who lives there. It's just not fiscally, it doesn't make sense financially, right? So, and yeah, the industry is changing, but I think it's kind of a microcosm. Everything is downsizing, and everything's getting smaller, and everybody's tightening their belts, and everyone's expected to do more for less or the same. So it is changing a lot. LA is in trouble, although they just got a big tax credit, so maybe that'll help them bounce back a little bit after the fires and the strikes and COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But the
Mm-hmm.
industry is definitely in flux. There are half of the number of shows, I think, filming in LA. New York is, production's down. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but it's at least 20% down, if not more. So, I mean, you can look all
Wow.
that stuff up, but it's in flux, and there are verticals, and there's non-union work, and there's production shooting overseas because it's actually cheaper. And California has crazy permitting laws and the time it takes to get a permit.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's cheaper to fly a crew to Ireland than to shoot in the streets of New York. So it's definitely readjusting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's just the honest truth. It's just where we are.
Right. And
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your thoughts and and let the audience know. And one thing I would say is that to let everybody get prepared for the young actors out there from the next generation, and that's a good point, like you said, save money, be serious, and
Yeah.
and you're right, get a side job.
Oh
It's
yeah, you
tough.
have to, yeah. And
It-
train, you have to be training and you have to watch old films. You can't
yes.
just have a diet of, social media. You have to know the classics. I think
Right.
it
And
really
the good
helps.
one thing I noticed I like to watch too sometimes if you can go on YouTube and watch like acting classes that real actors do. They put
Yeah.
it on YouTube, like real
Yeah.
actors put it out there and they're like
Yeah,
you're
those
like,
are
"Oh,
great.
wow, they're so good."
Yeah, those are wonderful. Yeah.
I want to dig into what was what is your most pivoted moment in your life?
In terms of this career or my life?
Well, your career. I want to say your career.
My career. Let's see. I think going to the premiere of Alto Nights kind of just was completely just I I walked in and all of a sudden I was literally on a red carpet. I didn't know this was going to happen. And people were like flashing and calling my name. Look over here, Christine, over here, over here, over here. And then I was interviewed by I think it was Warner Brothers, in-house.
hmm
And then that just like I thought I was just going to the premiere of the movie. I just got a ticket because I was in one scene, and but it was this like, and I thought, wow. And having my son and daughter-in-law with me and seeing how sort of impressed they were, I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of a big deal. I didn't really think it was, but seeing it through their eyes maybe go, oh yeah, it's a big deal.
Well, it is. It is. And I
Yeah,
that
it was a job, and
hmm
and now I'm looking for the next job. So, I guess that's why I didn't think it was like I've arrived.
right. Well, I think personally, my view, if it happened to me or anybody, I think it tells yourself that hard work pays off.
It's also a lot of luck too. I mean,
Well,
you know,
yes, that too,
casting
but
is
that too,
it's
but
hard
I'm just
work,
saying
and it's
hard work
luck, and
does
it's
pay off.
yeah, being at the right place at the right time and being the right type and a little bit of luck and some training. I mean, there's a lot of things. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Do you have any behind the scenes funny stories?
Yes. On the set of the Alto Nights, we had a lot of downtime. We sat in the 1957 Copacabana for about 12, 13 hours. And it was a nightclub scene. And there was a band there. And some of the actors playing the musicians, I think, were actually real musicians. And so whenever there was like a lot of downtime, the guy on the horn would start playing the theme from The Godfather. I thought that was really funny because we were in this mafia movie and he was just playing, and everybody started laughing, all the extras and all the cast. That was pretty funny.
Well, that is very funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
Did you guys sing?
No, I don't know the words to the theme from The Godfather. Do you? Does it have words? I don't know.
Well, and that'd be kind of more embarrassing if they start singing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, what's going on? Um,
Yeah.
Out of all the roles you played, which one was the most challenging role and also deeply affected you, and why?
Oh my gosh, what a question. Da, 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 da. What comes to mind? What comes to mind? Oh my gosh, so many. Well, I've done more theater than I've done on camera, so it's probably going to be a play. And it's probably going to be not actually acting, but maybe directing. I used to have a theater company and I used to do quite a bit of directing. Um, and I directed Tom Stoppard's Arcadia, which is a really dense, but wonderful, wonderful play. And one of the themes is sort of looking back at history and trying to piece together what really happened. And I just love that about that play. Um, looking at, I'm very into genealogy, so like, I'm always looking back and trying to put pieces together, and that theme in that play just really, really touched me. Yeah.
And I didn't know you worked in theater. And
Oh yeah.
what's the difference that you want to say to the audience, the theater and
Yeah.
TV role?
There's a lot of differences. The acting is you still have to be as believable and as truthful, but you just have to adjust your size for camera or the back of a theater,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, you're going to rehearse for weeks in a theater and probably not make very much money. You can be on set one day and make more than you would make rehearsing a show for 4 weeks and running it for 4 weeks. I don't think there's any greater training than the stage. You really, you just learn about language and about how playwrights think, and that helps you even with television scripts because a lot of good television is written by people who've written for stage too, and a lot of casting directors like people with theater backgrounds. Um, so I think the stage is a really good place to start. And the great thing about that is every community, no matter where you are, whatever market, there's going to be a small professional theater, so, or even a community theater. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no excuse not to get started. They're the same, but they're different. Theater is the parent art to film. People were doing plays before the movies came along. Um, and it's more well, film is the director's medium, the editor's medium, really, because they're the ones
Mm-hmm.
cutting it and creating the rhythm and the impact. But the theater is really, I think, the writer's medium. It's about the text. It's about the story. Um, so I like doing both. I like doing both.
Wow. And I know a lot of actors say they like doing both, but a lot of them say they like being on TV and on scene because if you mess up a line, you're okay. They can say cut and then redo. But if you're on
Yeah, you can't
theater,
do that on stage.
you
Yeah.
mess up, you have to continue because the audience
Yeah, but
wouldn't.
what an amazing training, that then you can use on set because there are things to do on set like you never stop, you never cut.
Hmm.
The director will cut. But if you can take a pause and get back on track, wow, I mean, you're an actor who, people are going to want to work with because you're not wasting people's time and you're letting the camera still roll. And that's a great flexible skill to have is to be able to get yourself out of a spot of trouble.
Wow, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I
Thank
didn't.
you.
That's a really good point. If you could have any lead role,
Oh my gosh.
if you, in the film industry in history, what would it be and
Oh.
why?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, I think, would probably be Martha in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Okay.
because she's just a powerhouse of just she's dynamite. She's also very wounded and very vulnerable, but she's also
Hmm.
really strong and not a perfect person, very flawed. And I just think that would be an incredible ride to do that role. Yeah, and I love the play and I love the movie with Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, directed by Mike Nichols. I just love it.
Wow. So my
Yeah.
follow-up question is, if you could be with any role with any actor or an actress, who would it
Oh,
be?
I'd love to work with Meryl Streep, of course. Yeah, I mean, she's just, genius.
I love Meryl Streep. She is
Yeah,
fabulous.
I'd also like to be on the Gilded Age. If anybody
Hmm.
is watching who's connected to the Gilded Age, I would like to be on that show because I love period stuff. I love classical
Hmm.
theater, and that show is full of classically trained Broadway actors and
Hmm.
singers. I'd love to be on that show.
Oh, wow. I forgot to mention you were on 2020.
Well, I did a voiceover for
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
reenactment for
That's why,
2020. Yeah.
to be honest with you, that's why the more I'm talking to you, I recognize your voice
Oh,
because
really?
I watched 2020.
Oh, okay.
And and you did an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. How
Thank
was it
you.
like doing the voiceover?
It was fun. I had to do a Long Island accent, which was great. And I thought, well, they're going to hire somebody who's from Long Island, but I was able to do it. And it was fun. The director was great. It was just she and I in the studio, and we would do it several times, and she'd give me a
Hmm.
different direction, and I'd do it. And yeah, it was great. And it was during the strike, and voiceovers were excluded from, from they weren't strike. You could still do voiceovers during strike, so that was great. It was great to have a job.
Wow. So do you have any other upcoming roles?
I'm gonna shoot a role in a short film in New York in August, I believe.
Hmm.
That's coming up, and I have a film I directed, a short film I directed that's in post-production right now. That should be ready in the fall. And then I'm writing a short film and a solo show. So I have a lot of little creative projects to keep me
Hmm.
busy in between bookings, and auditions have started to kind of pick up. I've had some really nice auditions
That's
this month.
amazing.
So hopefully, hopefully things will get busy.
Yes, I'm hoping so too. So
Yeah.
I want to talk about what made you decide to be a director and a writer.
Well, I always liked writing. I wrote in high school. I wrote for the paper and I wrote for the radio station and did the news. And I just always, I don't know, I kept a journal as a kid. I always loved writing. And I did some freelance writing for magazines and things like that, and essays for a book. And
Hmm.
I just always like writing. And then directing, I think I was that kid who got all the other kids together and said, right, we're going to play school or we're going to put on a play. It's just my personality. I'm bossy. I mean, that's it. That's the honest answer. It's about control, you know? But I
What would
love
you say?
directing. I love interpreting I love trying to figure out what the writer's trying to do,
Hmm.
and then physicalizing that and getting the emotions out of a piece of paper. It's magic to me.
Okay. Yeah, it's multiple hats you're wearing.
Yeah. And and I always did wear multiple hats. And I thought that was a flaw, like, jack of all trades, master of none. But today, to be a multi-hyphenate is a necessity. You have to be busy in all the different areas because
Hmm.
you can't sit around and wait for that audition. It's just not
No,
coming as
you
fast as
can't.
it
You
used to.
can't.
So stay creative and create your own content, as they say, although I hate to call it content, but staying busy, I think, keeps you ready. And then you're networking constantly, which is really important.
Yeah, 100%.
Finding your people is really important.
Yes. Networking, you said it right there. Networking is the
Hmm.
key. And
Yeah, and then, meeting them through work, not like some forced, event is always like the best. Like, oh, I really like this film I just directed. I gathered people that I'd worked with on other sets. I was like, she'd be great, she'd be great, she'd be great, You just collect your people.
You're right. Networking is a thing. That's one thing where you asked me earlier, but that's what I love about Instagram, to be
Yeah.
honest. It's
Oh,
networking.
yeah. Oh,
And,
yeah. And you can
you
follow
know,
casting directors and interact with them. I mean, it's
right.
amazing.
And that's one thing I love about social media, about networking through Instagram is the entertainment industry is big and we are a family and
Mhm.
we support each other from wherever state we're living in.
Also really small.
And
It's
I know.
also really small. Everybody knows everybody, you know.
Yeah, and I know I to me I make exaggerate and say it's big because we're a family. We're a
Yeah.
family and
Yeah, it's very
it's
specific.
amazing how much support we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's to me I'm mind blown.
Yeah.
So,
And those are the people you want to be around, is the supportive people.
right.
Yeah.
100%. And I totally
Yeah.
understand you when you say it's really small, but I know I always tell people myself, yes, it's small, but I have to tell myself, and I tell other people, it's big. We got to support each other. We got to keep the
Yeah.
community going,
Yeah.
and it's so amazing because people are like, wow, I didn't know I get support, even though the
Mm,
community is small. I'm getting
yeah.
support, and
Yeah.
that's one thing that everybody loves about it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what do you say your greatest accomplishment as being an actress so far?
Oh my gosh. Sticking with it. Like having the faith and the courage to wake up and go, all right, another day, let's do it. I think that's the great accomplishment. And staying positive about it, because it's easy to get down and it's easy to get negative, but I don't know, something keeps me going about it. So I think that's I think that's it.
Okay, that's good. What do you, for yourself, what's your dream role you want to play?
Well, Martha and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and then any kind of period drama like Gilded Age. I'd love to do a show
Hmm.
like that. Um, yeah, just a comedy. I love comedies, but I'll do it. I'll do anything.
What kind of comedy? I know a lot of people say comedy horror or comedy action or maybe kind of comedy sad. What kind of type of comedy are you on?
Um, people behaving badly and selfishly and childishly. I mean, I mean, comedy, exposes our foibles and our flaws and our personality defects. And I think that whenever we can watch other humans mess up, it just makes us feel better. So, any kind of comedy, really,
It
as
lifts
long as
people,
it's really funny and not forced.
right? It
Like,
lifts
or
people up.
gross. I don't like gross comedy.
Right. It lifts people up. I want to dig into what's your why?
My why. I think we need storytellers, and I think it's the thing I'm good at. So I think that's why I do it. Because I can do and have done other things. I was a teacher for many years, I'm a mom. I was a writer. I scooped ice cream. I've done a lot of things. But the thing that, I worked in news and that's storytelling too, but it's nonfiction. This is fiction now in television and film and theater. But I think telling stories is really important. I think it's an ancient thing and we love it. We're constantly watching things on TV or in the theater or at the movies or on the train or in a restaurant. I mean, we tell each other stories all day long, on the phone or, with our friends, each other. So I just think that's my job. I'm supposed to tell stories. And even when I was teaching, I was telling stories. I mean, everything I've done has always been about telling stories.
Wow. And as yourself as a mother, I want to ask because a lot of parents, are wondering this. As their kids who are young, will go from age 6 years old, who wants to get into the entertainment industry. As yourself as a mother, what's your opinion? And we'll go from there.
Well, I think you have to have a lot of time because you're going to have to accompany them to auditions and to set. So you need to be able to put aside that time and take time off work, which is the challenge. And I think you have to be really savvy and know what's what, get representation so that you're not getting involved with shady people who are not as trustworthy as those who've been vetted by, agencies and casting directors. I think that's a part-time, if not full-time job if you're a stage parent, but go for it,
And do
if
you
your
do
kid
you
is interested.
believe that they should put their kids in homeschool because auditions and
Well, I mean, that's up to them. I mean, that's somebody's,
hmm
choice, I mean, people have full-time jobs and audition after work, so that's up to the parents, I'd say.
that's a good
But,
point.
I don't spend all day long auditioning. I mean, I have time to do other things, so the kid's gonna probably has time to go to school. But what they do when they do book is that they have on-set tutors, so the kids keep up with their schoolwork.
hmm
So
That's
that's nice.
true.
Yeah, and they're on-set teachers and,
Right. So
yeah.
I gotta ask, do you miss being a teacher?
Well, I coach, so I still get to teach a tiny bit. So I coach privately.
Hmm
So I like that. I do miss it. I don't miss the full-time, you know, 40 weeks a year, faculty meetings. I don't miss any of that. But yeah, I do. I always felt really happy when I was passing things on to younger people, like you have to know these plays, you have to know these movies, and and directing young people
hmm
and yeah, teaching playwriting and all the Shakespeare. I love teaching Shakespeare and getting kids excited about it because it can be pretty daunting. So I do miss it, but I'll never go back to it full time. Maybe part time, but not full time. I did it for a very long time.
I just had to ask. I just had to ask.
Yeah.
Um, what is your short term and your long term goal?
Short term would be I would love to book a guest star. I've only done co-stars, and I think I would love to do a guest star.
Hmm
And then long term, and well, maybe I should dream bigger. How about this? Short term is a series regular, so a character that keeps showing up on the same show. And I just had an audition for one, so fingers crossed. Let's say that would be short term, and then long term. Long term, just to be able to, make a living doing this full time. I think that's the long term. That's the stretch. That's the long game, you know.
That's true. And
Yeah.
the one thing is about being in the entertainment industry is passion, courage, you know, don't give up.
Yeah. 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 Because a
Um,
lot of people do, which is good for those of us who stay in it, but a lot of people do, and they have to, for other reasons.
right. And
Yeah.
like you, I don't know if you agree, but you have to have a thick skin.
Oh, for sure. There are so many variables when it comes to casting. You could be too tall, or you could look too much like the person you're going to be opposite, or not enough like them, or there's so many variables, and you'll never know why someone else got it. And there's only one person for each job. One person.
Hmm Yeah.
There's a lot of no's before you get yes.
You just said it right there. There's a lot
Yeah,
of no's before you get a yes.
yeah,
And I know you have experienced as well. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah, more no's than yes.
and
Because
I
the yes
think
is pretty nice.
yeah, I think a lot of people they think a lot of young actors who get in the entertainment industry, they think, okay, I'm gonna get get a big
Yeah,
reward. I'm gonna get a lot of
yeah,
yeses, but they don't realize until they hear stories from you or other actors that,
yeah,
oh, they're getting a lot of no's.
yeah.
I'm not the only one.
Well, and a lot of them, I think, want to be famous, which is different from wanting to be a working actor. Those are
Hmm
two different goals. So
That's
I think
true.
it's, yeah,
There's two different.
yeah,
I believe that, keep working hard. You find the right people,
yeah.
eventually you'll get those bigger roles.
You stick with long, you got to stick with it. You absolutely have to stick with it. You'll hear so many people saying that. So many working actors will say, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Because
Yeah, don't.
you're one job away from the role, you know.
Right. 100%. I totally agree with you.
Mhm.
Is there any movies that you've seen that you can recommend to the audience?
What have I seen recently? Well, the Alto Nights, of course. What have I seen? Um, I'm streaming some stuff, some, series. I can't think. Well, gosh, I haven't been to the movie. When's the last time I went to the movies? It's been a minute since I went to the movies. And I love going to the movies. Um, I can't think what I've seen recently. Gosh, I'm just drawing a blank. But uh I watched Ripley. I thought that was brilliant
Hmm.
on Netflix. I watched Adolescence. I thought that was brilliant. Um, I'm watching The Gilded Age, of course. Yeah, just streaming a bunch of show. I'm looking forward to the morning show coming back on Apple. That's a really good show.
Yes, that's a good show. I totally
Yeah,
agree with you.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I've been
I guess
watching,
Alto Nights was the last movie I saw.
yes, I've been watching, well, I'm waiting for the third season, but I'm watching Silo
Oh, I haven't seen that.
on Apple TV.
Okay.
And
I haven't
that's
seen
pretty good. I mean, I recommend it. It's kind of long, but
that.
it's
Yeah.
really good. I recommend
Oh,
it.
I did see the documentary, My Mom Jane by Mariska Hargitay, and was blown away. I love that. It was such a good documentary. So
Oh, I've
good.
seen it too.
So good.
Without giving anything away, what
Yeah.
did you think? What did you think?
I
Was it
loved it. It was so heartfelt and so just, she just opened up her veins for people, you know?
yeah,
Yeah. I thought it was so
it
well done.
was amazing.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. Well, Christine, where can everybody find you?
Well, where you found me on Instagram.
And can you give your Instagram name so if
Oh
anybody
yeah, it's Christine MCBC.
and that's everybody needs to follow Christine and give her
Oh boy,
support.
thanks.
Please do, please.
Thanks.
Well, Christine, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was fun.
I appreciate it, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Have you back on.
Oh, thank you.
I really do, and I love interviewing people and getting people let the audience know you and that every actor from different states and varied backgrounds, their story, why they wanted to get into the acting industry. And
Yeah.
like you said, all of them have told me the same thing was storytelling.
Hmm.
That's the key. They want to impact their community. They want to impact their loved ones. They want to show, they want to make people laugh and cry. But they all
And think.
said, once told me was healing,
Yeah.
healing and storytelling.
Yeah.
Because I had
It's an
this one
ancient art
director
and yeah.
told me that I think he or she it wants to making films for healing, for mental
Yeah.
health, for
Yeah.
healing.
Yeah.
That right there is made me had my hair stick up because we
Yeah.
need to talk about mental health. And
Well, yeah, the ancient Greeks, who invented what's the closest thing to our form of entertainment today. It was a healing event. It was a communal
hmm
healing event, it was medicine. So that's why I think we need storytellers.
yeah, 100%. 100%.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for coming
You're
on.
welcome. Thank
It's been an
you.
honor. I will look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Okay,
Bye
bye-bye.
bye.